Welcome.
Welcome. Sorry, I was making iced coffee.
I'm drinking iced tea.
Nice. I kind of messed up. Like, I made coffee, and then I just put ice cubes in it. Except now it's just kind of like the coffee's hot, and there's ice cubes on the top. So, like, it's not iced yet. It's just kind of cold.
I like that.
It's getting there. Like, I see where this is going, and I like it, but I don't like the process to get where I want it to right now.
If only you had the power to fast forward it.
Right?
If only.
It would be fantastic. But alas. And welcome back to another... Oh.
Yep, she's dead still.
Oh, sorry, are we recording? I was totally zoned out.
Love that for you. Love that.
Oh, man.
Now that we're all here, welcome back to episode number 10 of The Low Finer Things.
Hola.
We have decided every 5 episodes or so, we're going to recap with Kappa, but with all 3 of us instead of just Kappa. So the title is a little bit misleading, but you get the point because we went with it once, so we're going to go with it again. So if you don't like it, suck on the apples.
We'll pull the wood over your eyes.
That's right. Don't blind me with your boner. I mean, what? Anyways, how are you guys doing?
Really well, man.
How are you guys doing?
Really well. Whitley, how are you, buddy?
If you had to guess,
Say it.
happy to be here.
Yes.
I'm glad you are, because I'm in a mood today. I'm feeling kind of saucy, kind of spicy, kind of aggravated, kind of irritated, a little bit bitter. I'm on my old man shit today, just grumpy for no reason.
It's called menopause.
Yeah. So
It happens to the best of us.
we'll get there. It's gonna just be what it is today. But I'm excited, like, because I like talking to you guys. You guys are always the bright spot on my one day a week, every other week type shit.
Oh, just
So I'm
warmed
glad
my
you guys are
little
doing
heart.
good. Here we are, and I'm sure as this episode goes on, it'll be great. What's new and exciting?
I've been stuck playing Goat Simulator 3 for a little while. Not gonna lie. Slightly embarrassing, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's no different than people that play Power Wash Simulator for hours on end. It's the same thing. I play video games for hours on end and squat up once a week in a competitive league. Like,
Dude,
I feel like Goat Simulator is probably far less stressful than that.
Can you just tell us what position you were picked?
First.
Ah, that a guy.
Not because I'm good or anything. I have what
Just
you call
take
the
it.
intangibles. Oh, I'll take it 100%. I deserve to go first. But I have what you would call, like, the intangibles. I can shoot kind of straight, but, like, I'm just good at keeping people composed and kind of directing traffic a little bit. So,
The captain.
essentially.
No way.
Fuck,
The captain.
I'm the captain everywhere.
It's because you do a damn
damn.
fine job.
I do. I'll pat myself on the back for that one.
I would prefer if it was your butt.
Hey. Anyhow, so yeah, it's been a really good week. I have still, for the most part, been diving into long form content quite frequently and watching it thoroughly. I've started loading my iPod up with music and albums and all the stuff that I have purchased as of late. And then today I had stumbled across a really good Tyler the Creator interview.
Oh. Who was the interviewee?
It was on, I don't know who the interviewee was, however, it was really good and it touched on a lot of things that I feel as an artist. It was from Spring Hill, so if you look them up on YouTube, you'll see that they have interviews with a lot of people. But I've developed a newfound respect for Tyler over this, and this goes with just the adventure that I've been on and the path I've chosen to go on. And I've really just started to really see music for what it is, whether it be you or Andrew, Astro Melhen, SP Chops, B4 Lasers, O Ricky, DiBiase, Half Blue, you name it, right? The music is art. And I think looking at it like that has given me a much deeper appreciation for not just the work that goes into it on my behalf, but also when I purchase a Cal Kappa album off of Bandcamp, I make a point, and this is the shift that has happened just in the last couple weeks as I've gone through this journey since watching the Dig and the Great stuff, but I'll set aside the time to actually sit and listen to the project in full instead of 2 tracks here, oh, I gotta go do something, put it on in my car. You know, I'll chisel out the time to actually listen to it. Hell, before we hopped on here, I popped on an Arrested Development album and just laid and listened to that for a while.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's how I've been starting my after work, actually. I just go out in the backyard, put on an album, and lay in a chair and lay in the sun.
I think when I get back to work, I'm gonna make a similar routine when I get home, and I'm just gonna throw something on. Yeah, it's very similar to creating. It's still therapeutic in that sense.
Oh, 1,000%, man.
Yeah, there's definitely like something to be said about listening to music or a project with intent or purposefully, rather than just kind of listening for something for background noise as you're kind of just like plugging away and not really giving it your full attention, you know?
Mm-hmm. Within this Tyler interview as well, it was kind of stated that there's a lot of people within the culture that are just doing it to maybe like make a quick buck or whatever their motive is. It's not pure to musicianship or the art form or the culture itself. And I immediately thought back, because I've had an issue with this and the way that our newly coveted and beloved Australian breakdancer Ray Gunn has
oh my god,
become a well-known vulture within the community. And like, for me, as somebody who has been involved within the culture and a guest within the culture of hip-hop, I felt some type of way about it, just because, one, it wasn't good.
No, it was not.
And that's not a knock on her. I went through her Instagram. I've gone back. Like, she's participated in breakdancing contests and events as far back as like 2013. So it's not like she just threw on some track pants and a Paris Olympics jersey and a hat and decided, hey, we're gonna go make a mockery of the culture. It's how she went about doing it. And if you deep dive into this, you'll see that it kind of looks like she stepped over a lot of more talented dancers from lower socioeconomic backgrounds in order to get her spot at the Olympics. And that's all fucked up. I was trying to find a nice way to say it, but there's not. Like, that's just super fucked up. As Caucasian folks who are guests within this culture, whether it be uninvited or you show up unannounced at times and you become accepted through showing love and respect to the pioneers and the originators, it was just a really fucked up situation. So I recommend everybody kind of go and do the deep dive on it as to how she got there, because I also found it very hard to believe that that was the most talented breakdancer that you could find from that country.
That was something else, man.
Hey, this is, I shared it, I made a joke about it on Instagram, and I posted a video of her doing her routine, and it immediately reminded me as to why I don't just go out and tell people, yeah, man, like, I make lo-fi beats. I make beats. I take samples and I turn them into something on my SP404, and it's this whole thing. Like, I just don't tell people, because it's just like, again, This is how we're perceived when you tell people you make hip-hop music to begin with. They immediately think of shit like that. And I was like,
yeah.
bleh, bleh.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm just
It could be worse.
quiet in my corner. You know, I used to be in a metal band.
Better than skate punk. Shout out to
Thank God.
John from Burning Pallets, who we had this hilarious encounter over Instagram as well, which I thought was kind of funny, where he had went to an appointment and the doctor's like, oh, you make skate punk like Green Day or blah blah blah, whatever. And I had commented, I was like, no man, how worse, I rap. And he's like, even worse, he's like, I do both. And I'm just like, bro. But I find those boys are people who are very just respectful towards the culture and show an appreciation for the art form itself. So seeing this Tyler interview really made me appreciate the fact that there are still people that are out there that are trying to move the needle forward in terms of art and musicianship and creatives, and not just being perceived as what the media allows it to be perceived. I hate the fact that if you Google breakdancing right now, the first thing that pops up is this fucking Olympic debacle. But also, shouts out to Canada, man, for winning a gold in that shit.
Dude, right? When I saw that, I was like, no way.
That's crazy. As like I said, as somebody who's been immersed in this culture for the better part of my life now, it made me very, very happy and almost humbled in a sense to see that breakdancing has made its way to an Olympic platform. And I hope that even with the negativity that this has brought towards it, that we will see it in the next Summer Games as well.
I really hope so, man. Like, I imagine that feels just about as good as when I saw BMX at the Olympics for the first time as someone that raced.
That's crazy to me too. That was the last Olympics, wasn't it?
One of the last couple. Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, this is the thing that I used to want to do as a kid. Like, I dreamed of racing in the Olympics.
Am I tripping, or was skateboarding also included in the last Olympic Games?
Oh, I feel like it's gotten to that point, yeah.
Somebody Google it.
Somebody's gonna have to. And it's not gonna be me because my phone's not nearby anymore.
I'm doing
I've chucked
it.
Olympic skateboarding 2024.
It was okay, so it was this year.
Yep.
Fire.
Japan got first.
Yep.
Yeah, that's heat. I remember, like, that takes me back to the days of like X Games and watching like Tony Hawk and Bucky Lasek and all the Americans just run it, and then you see Pierre-Luc from Quebec come through and start taking silvers and golds, and like, it's just awesome to see, because a lot of those sports are on the mainstream stage typically dominated by other countries. So anytime you see a fellow Canadian, like, you really gotta tip your hat to that.
Oh, 1000%. I just feel a good tip in my hat.
Hey, I don't have a hat on to tip right now, but if I did, I would. Yeah, this got off to a really, really good start, I feel like, and I know we were going to recap some things. How's your guys' journey through, like, being more intentional with your listening processes and how you're consuming music, and not being on streaming platforms all the time and all of that shit?
Honestly, the last 4 nights, aside like playing video games for an hour, I've come home and not even touched anything but the NPC for like 4 or 5 hours straight.
Okay, I gotta say, I want to cut you off for a second, because as a fellow creative, I'll fly through like Instagram. I'm trying to put my phone down more and just be a little bit more concise with how I consume, how I present, how I take that all in. But I see your stories every goddamn night, and it's always a shot of the NPC with like some drums and a sample over it, and I'm just like, this dude does not stop working. And here I am fucking around playing video games with people I don't even know.
I don't even think Cal's being intentional with that, though. I think he's just like, yep, here's what I'm up to.
Yep.
Like, it's not work for him. It's natural.
I've kind of getting tired of TV, tired of Xbox. Like, most things have been boring lately, so I'm just like, create. It at least keeps me entertained.
I have found with the Adventurous Road, shameless plug.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ties in. I have been creating with more intent and more purpose, and like what I've been sharing is like the same thing. Like I'll scroll through Instagram, I'll browse it, I'll put my shit down, but then I'll find a sample and I'm like, I should just pop this on and like I'll just go make a beat on IG Live for everybody, and we're gonna throw it on the project because I want to show you guys. To me, it's like this is part of the process. This is part of the journey that is like creating and deciding whether or not something goes on the album. I've started uploading tracks that are on the album that you can't listen to quite yet. You can listen to the 2 that are available for pre-order, but the track list that's up there right now, I can tell you right now, will not be the track list that is available when the album is released. And even after the album is released, I might pull a Kanye and go back and add something to it, or change a version of something, like this and that. So the way that you've been creating music has made me a lot more mindful about how I've decided to put my music out there.
Oh, I love that.
It's a good time.
I love when one of us can do something for the other one without meaning to.
I feel as if that's art as a whole, is just like art inspires art. So if
wrong.
I can inspire you to create something, I know that it's going to inspire somebody else to create something, and it's eventually it's going to come back to me with double or triple the energy that it left me with.
If I put NHL on and I listen to Abracadabra, it's usually one game and the fucking thing's off and I'm already on the MPC.
That's perfect. I love that.
That's a go-to.
I need to find a way to just keep myself dialed in and focused on making beats, because I don't know, with unmedicated ADHD, it gets hard. I'm so like all over the place sometimes.
So that would do it.
I'll go play video games for an hour or 2, and then I'll come make a beat for 45 minutes, and then I'll go sit on my couch and I'll fire through social media for 20 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll listen to what I made, and then I'll go play video games again. And it's just like I can't get one specific thing done that I want to, even though I understand and I know that it's a priority, but it's like, how do you buckle down and create when like your brain does not allow for you to just buckle down and create, right? It's like I got to create a whole new habit and just do that. And I feel like that's where you're at with your creating, is like you said, you come home, you throw something on, you lay down outside on a chair, and then you vibe, and then eventually that leads you to creating in the evening. And It's become so routine for you that it's just like, it doesn't matter what you do in between when you get home and when you get up and go touch the MPC, that it's ingrained in you that around this time I start to create.
Yeah, it's been that's exactly it. Wow. Word fumbles, but yeah, that's exactly it.
You got it.
It's working into a routine.
I love that. That makes me really, really happy to hear.
Keeps my computer nice and full too, so win-win for everybody.
I bet. Don't you have a little beat tape coming out soon? I seen you sent
I've got
a picture with some songs. Yeah,
I've got 8 of them waiting. I don't know what day I'll release it, but it'll just randomly happen probably.
It's almost ready. What to you is like the perfect length? Oh, it's done now. Okay,
yeah,
fire.
It's completely done. I went through and I had to change one song. I didn't like how the sample sounded in the mid-tone, so I just scrapped the sample and grabbed something else.
Nice. What to you is the perfect length for like a beat tape?
It depends on how it feels. Could be 10 minutes.
My mind's going to the gutter here.
Could be 10 minutes. It could be like 25. It really just depends. Like this next one might be 18 minutes at most. No, maybe 16. But like, it feels right. I'm a friggin' little hippie that way, where it's just, I go by feeling with a lot of shit.
I love that. that's a good way to do it. Whitley, what about you? What to you is like perfect length of beat tape?
I think
Remove
depends on
yourself
the
from
overall.
the gutter.
Sorry. I live here. This is my gutter. Anyway, I think that
Ninja Turtle.
I know I say this all the time, but I think it varies from project to project, because sometimes it's like a different vibe, right? And sometimes the vibe is a little bit longer, like it's a different experience, you know? But for like a short and sweet beat tape, I don't know. And I don't think maybe necessarily the number of tracks, but like maybe like length of like overall time. I'd say like 20 minutes is probably pretty good, maybe even 15. If you want like a short beat tape. If you want like a full album, then like an hour and a half.
That's wild to me. I think I might struggle to sit there for an hour and a half and dial in on a beat tape.
But that's because lo-fi beats are like a minute, maybe 2 minutes tops, versus like a full-length album for other genres can be like, you know, you got like 5 and 6 minute tracks. Just saying.
I don't even listen to
Do you
music
really
that's
anymore,
like 5
though?
minutes.
Do I listen to songs that long? You bet you I do, but I get way deep in the electronic realm where that's
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, that's fair. I was going to say, like, I haven't listened to a hip-hop song that has been over 2 minutes and 20 seconds in a very long time, with the exception of some of the tracks from like Eminem's new album, for example, which I guess your point is now, you know, case in point here, proven that there are still like 4 and 5 minute songs, but also Eminem still raps like Eminem rapped to a certain extent, like he did 20 years ago. So like the third verse is still well and alive on his albums, whereas you go and listen to like a Corday album and there's songs that are like a minute and a half. To me, I think that 15 to 20 minute range for a beat tape is like the perfect spot to kind of float around in. And again, I go off of feel as well, so I'll run with this. I will say that that's one thing that I love about the SP more than making things on FL Studio, is that I'm not keeping track of the time on here. Like, I'm just
never,
when I'm doing my pattern chain, it's just like, this is what I want, this, here's this, and we're gonna end it with this, and it's like, okay, cool, that's my beat. If it turns out to be a minute and 30, sweet. If it's 2 minutes and 8 seconds, cool, doesn't matter. It's one of those things that I really appreciate about being unplugged from the digital audio workspace type shit.
Just ask me the last time I made a beat in Ableton.
Bro, same thing. I have not made a beat in FL Studio since the beginning of the year, I will say. I think I opened it up so that I could extract some stems from a sample that I really liked, and I fed those into the SP, and from there I made the beat in the SP. I do use FL Studio to track the finished beats back into, but I don't
I'll use the
it.
DAW for recording.
Yes.
So, like, just to grab it.
What is your preference right now?
What do you mean preference?
I guess like now that you've been doing it for so long, like
between the two.
I guess I shouldn't say preference. Preference is not the right way to phrase that. But now that you've been working with the MPC, both the 1 and the Live 2, for the better part of a year, I would say now, like, do you at times miss Ableton? No, you wouldn't, hey?
No, not at all. I was actually, my boss is like big music dude. He did like country rock for 25 years on the road, and like, so we were talking about it the other day, and I was just like, you know, like, if I could like just never use a computer again for making my music, I wouldn't. I was like, if I didn't need to record it, I wouldn't.
Listen, hear me out here.
Hear me out.
You don't necessarily have to, right? Because like for myself, like I don't even really master my beats anymore. Like how they come out of the SP is how I want them to sound. So when I'm recording it into FL Studio, I record it in pretty hot. But I'm realizing now that I could also just record it directly into my phone as well. And I think you might be able to also.
I could, but like, I honestly, I have one cheating method to my music that makes it give it that punch, and it's my 276 interface.
Yes.
It's got built-in compressor and a vintage effect, right? So like that's
Yes.
If I don't use that, you notice it right away.
Yeah, that makes like, and again, you can't get around that. The
Nope.
compressor on the Koala app is pretty fire, but once again, like certain things you can't really get around.
That vintage button is what just like gives my shit its last touch of love, I find.
Is it actually a vintage button? Does it say vintage?
Damn right it does.
That's crazy.
I've got the compressor, like the 276 compressor built into it. Just leave that on fast mode so it does quick compression, and then it's got a vintage mode that you press just to give it a little bit of an older sound. Like, I think you might hear like a 2% difference.
Still, that's really, really cool. I gotta create in a spot where I just have more space. Like, what I'm limited to right now is kind of lame. I purposefully moved all my stuff into my bedroom so that I could create easier, and it's actually just made things a little bit harder. So I think I'm going to start focusing like a little bit. So I think what I might do is I'm going to move my stuff downstairs, and then I can create down there without the distraction of the computer being around the corner, the TV being around the corner, and all of those things. And I can just set up shop and expand my space in the way that I want it to.
I think it's really important to have a workspace that's disconnected from all the distractions, and then you can make it your own and set it up to be inspiring, right?
I can put up my records from Dilla's personal collection, and I can put up some of my art and stuff that are there. So, and those are things that have just been tucked into storage. I can put up I never produced anything that like went gold or platinum. So what I would do is anytime I got a placement on an album of somebody's, one of the stipulations was I'll sell you this beat, but when the album comes out, like I want a copy of the album for myself, and I want one for the wall, and I will pay for one of them, but you're going to give me one for free.
That's fair.
Like artists were always very, very cool about doing that, and like I would show them afterwards and they'd be like, yo, that's really sick, like where'd you get the frame? I'm like, man, just go to Michael's. So I would get like the Michael's frames where you can put the album cover and the CD underneath it, and like I want to put those back up on my wall. And I think maybe
that'll inspire you.
I think it will, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I'm not grumpy anymore like today. Like I just have like this sense of like pride and like fulfillment over like the things that I've accomplished previously.
As you should, man.
Man, I remember. Okay, so funny story. Way back. This would have been 2010-ish or so. 2010, early 2011. I had produced a record for Spesh K. It's called Hip Hop Synths. And I remember we got the Much Fact, I think is what it was called. So we got the grant to do the music video. And we got the video done. Unfortunately, I couldn't make my way out to Toronto to be in it. But we got the video done. I got to see it before it aired, and I was like, that's sick. And I remember I got the call that it was going to be on Rhapsody on this day at this hour. They didn't give me a specific time, but this is when it was debuting, and I was so excited. And I remember I seen it, and there was that, and then it played a couple more times over the course of that week, and I was just like, man, like I'm never gonna have to work again. Like this is the beginning of like the start of like this upwards trajectory. And in a sense, like it was like that led to a lot more really cool things for me. But I'm still working, and I have been since that video aired. So it's not, it takes a lot more than just that. But it just the delusion was like really funny.
I love that. I'm just destined to work till I'm like 70, so I've accepted it already.
I am completely cool with working and creating on the side. I do enjoy the fact that there are people out there that like pay for my art and support me in that way.
Dude,
and
right?
For that, like, I'll be forever grateful and stuff. And I've always said, like, I would rather be like well known and wealthy than rich and famous type shit. But even now, it's like I would very much rather just like be able to pay a couple of bills with what I make off of music. Like if I can go and pay my phone bill, which is $30 a month, off of a couple of beat tape sales or a t-shirt sale, like
that's so satisfying.
I'm cool with that. Like that I am completely cool with.
How the hell is your phone bill so cheap?
Right?
Because like mine's like $110.
Oh, mine's only 60.
I'm not locked into a contract for one. My phone, I run an iPhone 11, I think. So I don't have the newest phone. My plan, like I said, is $34 a month. I get 30 gigs of data, unlimited calling, unlimited texting.
Who are you with?
Shouts out to Public Mobile, y'all. Like if you need the code,
is like screwing me.
Yeah, no. Are you on contract?
No, my contract's up now.
I'll slide you a link, bro. I'll slide you a link. Okay, so here's the cool thing, and we can edit this all out afterwards if we want. But the cool thing is, so I
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. No, this isn't a sponsor. Yet. But yo, Public, yeah, not yet. So with mine, you can only do up to like one line per. It's not. So it's like a 30-day thing. It's not a month-to-month thing. It's like 30-day subscription, right? So is how they do it. So I pay for you're paying month-to-month, whereas like with Sastel, TELUS, Bell, and stuff like that, you're paying a month ahead, essentially, is what you're doing. So with mine, like it's $34 plus the taxes. But then, because I also referred my son's phone under a separate email, with my code, I get $1 for every month that he's on with them. I get $1 for every month that I'm on with them. I get a fraction of what my monthly bill is back in points. So essentially, like every 3 months, I get a $15 credit with everything I have on there. And so my $34 bill turns into like a $19 bill, and stuff like that. So it's super cool, but I'll slide you the link, bro. And was super simple. Like I did the SIM swap, and it was good and easy. I've never had an issue with them. The only downside is like they don't have.
Were you able to keep your phone number?
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yes.
Everything is connected to my phone.
Yes, I know, me too. So like I fucking panicked when I swapped mine over, because when you port a number over, you only have a certain amount of time before like that number goes back to like say SaskTel or whatever, right? So when I ported the number over, I pulled my old SIM card out instead of keeping it in, and I'm like, why isn't my phone fucking working? Like what the fuck is going on? What is this? And I was like, what if I just like put my old SIM in? So I put my old SIM in. It still like went through, and they're like, there's been a request to port this number, blah blah blah. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yes. And I was like, oh my god, like I had a half-hour window, like please let this fucking work. And it worked, thank fucking god. But the anxiety that I felt over that, I was just like, holy shit, like that was a lot.
Like changing your phone number on everything would be such a pain in the ass.
Right, especially as an adult, because I have so much shit. There's a few like dickheads that I wouldn't mind if they lost my number, but yeah, I'll get you hooked up. So,
dude, I changed my number like fucking 6 months ago. It was interesting.
Oh fuck.
It was fun. Don't recommend you do it without like changing a couple numbers first.
Yeah, no kidding. I remember I got a phone call the other day from some fucking scammers that were like, hey, you made this purchase on Amazon with your MasterCard. And I'm like, oh really? They're like, yeah, there's gonna be this delivered and we need you to pay for this now and blah blah blah. And I was like, really? I was like, and on what card? They're like, your MasterCard. And I was like, that's crazy because I don't have a credit card. And they're like, click. I was like,
Okay,
yeah.
my coworker, I was getting like a slew of these recently, and they've since stopped. But me and my coworker, I had him answer, and then we pretended to be like a married couple having a fight while we had this guy on the line for tied up for like 15 minutes. It was wonderful. We're just totally improvising it. Like I can't remember what our names were, but we're just making up a whole story on the fly. And this poor guy like kept trying to talk to us, and we just like kept going back and forth and talking over this poor man. Eventually he hung up. I think he got the point, but I love fucking with the scammers.
He's not a poor man. He deserves
sometimes. That is true.
They say you shouldn't answer them though, because then they'll just call you even more.
Fuck them. I got nothing but time in the summers. Anyways, back to my point that I was making before. So when somebody purchases a beat tape or something, and I don't know if this is something that is necessarily like maybe like lost on the general public or something, but when you support a small business or an independent artist or something, like if I go and buy Cal's entire discography off Bandcamp, which I can't because I own it already, but Bandcamp has that cool thing where like you can set up your entire discography for like 20% off or 30% off or 40% off or whatever it might be, right? When you go and buy somebody's entire discography, say I pay $75 and I get everything that Cal has ever put out, that covers his phone bill and a trip to McDonald's and whatever else, right? So it's like when you support a small business, independent artist, it's like if somebody goes on my Bandcamp right now and buys a Crooked Foot t-shirt for the $40 plus shipping or whatever, like that is like my phone bill with some left over. If you buy 2 shirts, that's a phone bill and my son's phone bill, or my phone bill and my home security, or like a portion, like it's all these things. And it's like I take that and sometimes I'll pay a bill with it, but more often than not I'll just reinvest it into supporting another artist
or your own art, creating like a newly acquired CD printer
potentially.
Yeah, maybe. No, that one I bought because I sold a capture card on Facebook Marketplace. So I was like, you know what? This covers half the cost of, well, not even a half. But shouts out to Epson for refurbishing their products and making them affordable online.
That's so cool.
Hell yeah.
Dude, like I went to Staples to get this, and shouts out to the employee at Staples because he was super cool. And I was just like, bro, I was like, I know if I wait like 2 weeks, this thing's gonna be on sale for like $199. I was like, is there anything you guys can do on the price? He's like, no, unfortunately not right now. Like if you want to come back in 2 weeks. I was like, I kind of want this thing now. He's like, well, he's like, if it goes on sale in 2 weeks, he's like, just bring your receipt back and we'll credit your card and then we'll put it through for like the sale amount. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, just do it, man. I was like, I'm not gonna haggle you for $40. He's like, yeah. He's like, if you can find it somewhere else cheaper, like we'll match it. I was like, I know that, but you guys already, like, most companies now are pretty accurate and close to Amazon's pricing. I've actually found that things are more expensive on Amazon than they are at some of these chain stores because they've tried to compete with Amazon. But I was looking and I found it on sale on Epson's website for $139. So I was like, yeah, we'll get this. So now
Maybe not.
I'm going to do some test runs and I'll start printing up and pressing my own CD duplications and other artists as well, and we can go from there. And then once again, art will continue to fund art or shit like that.
God, that's exciting.
Cal Kappa hard copies on the way.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's do it. I got no problem with that.
I was thinking about it, and it's honestly like I shouldn't say I miss, but because I've been going pretty hard on purchasing CDs lately. Shout out to the local tramps. They know me routinely now. But because vinyl is so expensive and your casual listener has been priced out of purchasing, you know, even your average vinyl, it's like, how do you compete? Well, you find the next best nostalgic thing, and that was CDs. So
I
CDs
listen to
are making
CDs
a
every
comeback. Yeah, they're making a comeback because they are less expensive to press and produce than vinyl, and so are tapes. And they provide nostalgia. They allow for people
Man, I've been trying to find like a reasonably priced CD player, and I've been hitting up the thrift stores and like trying them before I buy them again, and they want like a lot for them. And even like the local pawn shop, like a used CD player from like the early 2000s is still like $50 because there's the nostalgia and the hype. It's coming back.
Yeah, you really gotta. I found a lot of success on Facebook Marketplace for things like that.
I've been keeping my eye open.
You really have to. And honestly, I lucked out with mine because I just traded my old radio, which I had gotten from my grandparents, for their CD player, which they no longer use because they wanted something smaller. And like, it's perfect. It plays everything fantastic. It sounds good. And I can play most modern burnt CDs. Some of them I cannot, some of them I can. But those I can't, well,
like,
they go
I want
in
to
the
take
DVD
it a step.
player.
I want to go a step backwards, and I want to get a CD player installed into my car that doesn't have a CD player. 'Cause it's too new for that. Like, I miss having a CD player in my car so much.
That's how I listen to my CDs. Actually, is in my car.
And like, I know I can plug in my phone and turn on the album on Spotify or Bandcamp or whatever, but it's not the same. It doesn't even sound the same. Fight me. It doesn't. It's not the same.
It doesn't. It doesn't have that feel to it. That, man, like, do you guys remember do you remember when new music was always released on Tuesdays? So you would go on Tuesday and pick up the album you wanted, and you would go home and you would put it in the CD player and you would turn it down super low so mom didn't get mad because there was cuss words on it, and you would just flip through the book.
Yeah.
I remember
that was the time to be alive.
my first CD that I ever purchased with a parental advisory sticker on it was Limp Bizkit, and I got it from Blockbuster.
Oh, Blockbuster! Damn.
And I was listening to it, and there was a secret song at the end of it where he goes off and he's cussing and swearing, and I had that CD for about 48 hours, and my mom heard me listening to the secret song, and she took the CD away and she returned it to Blockbuster.
You sold this to my son?
She was there when I bought it. That was the fucked up thing.
Mother.
And then about a year later, she allowed my brother to purchase Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001, which in my opinion, infinitely worse than Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. So I was like, 100%. Hey, I told my mom, I was like, hey, if he's getting that, you're getting me this. And I got Limp Bizkit's Significant Other again, and I fought my brother for the CD player, and I didn't win.
Look at that, and I didn't win.
Because my parents played favorites.
Cal, do you remember your first, like, explicit album that you bought? Mine was Getting Away with Murder by Papa Roach.
Nice.
God, honestly, no. Oh, God. No, I have no idea.
What was the Papa Roach album with Last Resort on it? Was that Infest or something?
Infest by Papa Roach.
Yeah.
And that one had Between Angels and Insects in it. Oh, another great one. And Broken Home and Dead Cell and I used to be such a huge Papa Roach fan.
Okay, on the topic of other things, I got nostalgic in a sense yesterday because I was whipping through Lonely Boy's fucking terrible music. And
again,
I can't remember what it was. I wanted to check his Instagram to see if it looked like a real person or if it was just a fucking industry plant type shit. Yeah,
he's a robot.
And it definitely comes across as just like some sort of like industry shit to churn out profits from the lo-fi culture. But there's also an Offspring album, and I was just like, no. I checked it. Yes, it's as fucking bad as you think.
He just did a bunch of Green Day covers too.
Terrible. They're ass as well.
You know what? That guy can just lick my butt.
That guy is to lo-fi what Ray Gun
Don't tune into Lunar Lounge tonight because I'm totally playing a Lonely Boy track.
You know what? Thanks for the warning. I'll make sure I'm in bed before.
Why? Like, what? You're
It's more
such.
like,
Why?
just trust me. Just trust me.
Are you gonna rag on it? Like, please tell me you didn't just like. Please, like, for the love of fucking God, pun intended here. Please tell me you didn't go full Judas on us with this.
It's the first opening track that I talk over too. Because if I'm gonna play Lonely Boy, I'm gonna be talking over him.
If you could see the look on my face right now, it's a mixture of like confusion and disgust.
I always start every show with my first like opening bed track after my little theme song. I always pick like a video game remix or an anime remix or like a TV show remix or a mainstream song done lo-fi. And I was like, you know what, just for fun, because we've been ragging on him so hard and I kind of feel bad. We're gonna open. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. It's already in my set list. It's already planned. I'm doing it. You guys hate me right now so much.
I'm just like
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
So you don't see the playlist when I post it tomorrow and go, what the fuck, Whitley?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm honest.
Or don't unfollow me.
I won't unfollow you. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed edit this and upload it tonight. So fuck your radio show.
Fuck you. Fuck your radio show.
For those of you who don't know, that's the inside joke. Recap that, Kappa. How did that joke come about?
Well, you see, fuck your radio show. That's how it came about.
Actually, it came up because we were chatting about artists within the lo-fi scene that we know, and somebody within here was like, oh, that person's a pretty cool guy. I was like, yeah, he came up to me one time. We were chatting, and he was like, fuck your radio show. And she's like, no. I was like, no, he didn't actually say that, but fuck your radio show. And then it was like, when should we upload this episode? The very first one. I was like, how about Thursday? And Whitley was like, yeah, fuck my radio show. And fuck your
Thursday
radio
happened.
show has been the inside joke ever since then. Yeah, I think we uploaded it Thursday anyway.
Just to spite.
No, we didn't. Or did we? I don't know.
I think
when was
we
our
actually
first
did.
episode? Like, what's our anniversary date? I was just thinking that. I'm like, I don't even know. And I usually know those kind of things because I'm one of those kind of women.
Warning for all potential suitors. Remember dates for Whitley?
I mean, they don't have to because I'll remember them. I'm the one that's good with numbers and remembering numbers and dates. And...
I, on the other hand, can barely remember last Tuesday.
Did we lose him? Oh man, we lost the foot. We lost the foot.
Cap him down. It must have been that facepalm I sent in the group chat.
You killed it, man.
I thought it was me that was going, to be honest.
Come back.
Captain,
No, it's our turn to come back. Woo, he's back.
So that happened.
See, this is the algorithm.
It was Lonely Boy.
He's here.
Yeah, if you say his name 3 times, he'll turn off your laptop when you're talking shit.
Oh no.
I don't know what happened. That's the first time that's ever happened to me.
I guess
Happened
I'm next.
to me, man. Now it's your turn.
I guess so. I'm glad that it kept recording though. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been horrid.
Yeah,
We
that
could have
just
mashed them
cried.
together.
yeah, we could have.
We can do
On that
anything.
note,
set
maybe
our
we
minds
should
to.
wrap it up.
It's an omen.
Lonely boy, the lonely boy, lonely boy.
Don't fucking do that. He's gonna show up.
I'm always the person that has to test the fucking limits.
I'm okay with that, but yeah, this has been the greatest episode about nothing.
It's just been beautiful chaos.
There's our episode title right there, Beautiful Chaos. We did 0 recapping, might I add.
We recapped on the Fuck the Radio show.
We did minimal recapping, might I add.
Just
But that's
enough.
okay. That's completely
It is what
okay.
it is.
We can take out the part where we said we're gonna call this recapping with Kappa, and we'll use it for like maybe the 15th radio show or something. I don't know,
That works.
but it works for me. Yeah, good idea. We'll wrap it up and we'll move on to artist recommendations. Whitley, what do you have now?
I don't know if we've recommended him yet, but our buddy Too Cool. He's working on a project he's releasing soon. He let me have a little sneak peek listen, and I'm super excited about it.
Super
if you
deserving.
haven't checked out Too Cole, go do it. His album Space Jams is such a chill and cosmic vibe, totally up my alley. One of my favorite albums of 2023. Do yourselves a favor, go check out Too Cole on the Bandcamp or Spotify if that's your jam.
Oh, that was really good.
It was a good plug.
I'm going with 14 KT. It's this yeah.
Bro, wow.
I want everyone needs to hear Gee Whiz.
That's a fact. Man.
Like
wow.
that's been my jam lately.
Okay, so
get with it.
Yeah, 14 KT is kind of like one of those, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he's from like the West Coast of the United States. DiBiase, Ras G, that kind of era, if I'm not mistaken.
You were correct, sir.
Ha ha! I fucking knew it. Yes, okay. Very dope.
Oh, he's solid artist.
Very just solid
good
artist.
Vibe. That's if I listen to Gee Whiz, it's another song that just hits me to go create shit, man. There's like certain songs that do it to me. Oh, the way he cuts samples, just it gives me a happy time in my heart.
I was completely mistaken. 14 KT is from Michigan.
I thought I was talking about the era, not the fucking location. Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, no, the era, yeah, like that type of shit. I found 14 KT through my deep dives through like DiBiase, Raz Fresco.
It's exactly the same deal here.
Ha! It works. Shit. Well, mine is going to be Cal. You'll probably know this one. You might not. Ohbliv.
Oh, Bliv.
Ohbliv. I had to check it out. I've been familiar for a while, but never really did a huge deep dive into him. SP Chops, shout out SP Chops, sent me a link recently with Ohbliv's Baker's Dozen album, which I have glanced over in the past, but never really gave it a full deep dive. So if you get a chance, go listen to the Ohbliv Baker's Dozen beat tape. It's from 2015, but it definitely stands the test of time. It was a limited run of, I believe, vinyl that they put out through Fat Beats Records.
We got to start putting our recommendations in the episode descriptions, I think.
We should do that. Yes, I agree.
Whoa, that was actually a really just mind-baffling good idea.
Whoa.
Big brain.
Whoa.
Damn.
Whoa.
Mind blasted.
This is not my Batman cup.
Wow.
And on that note, don't forget to follow us at The Low Finer Things on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow me at crookedfoot.lo-fi on Instagram, at Cal Kappa, and at Whitley360. And don't forget, despite the fact that we say it, you can too, but you should listen to the Lunar Lounge every Thursday.
Oh, absolutely.
From 11 to midnight.
Saskatchewan time.
Central time. We don't do daylight savings time, though, so it might be different than your central time.
Hippies.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.